my lovelies, what it do, what it do, what it do. This is Planet Base, the Tree of Life, Genesis 129, aka Virgo Networks, the Animal Planet, aka the Daughters of Zion, aka the Maidens and the Virgins, aka that Topaz Gem Sapphire, coming straight from that Spiker Star, the brightest star of the constellation. Always have a message for you, but it's up to you to discern what I'm trying to say. Remember, I'm just outside looking into your world, say things that you just don't see, okay? But dig this here. The name of this is called Dr. Reese. Dr. Reese on parasites. We're going to get into this clip with Dr. Reese talking about parasites.
Get parasites if your stomach acid is, well, of course you're going to get parasites if your stomach acid is weak, right? You eat food, it might create a parasite right here in the belly, but if your stomach acid is strong, it's going to terminate on spot. You think a parasite can survive in a cup of vinegar? No. But you see, we have too many people walking around with very weak stomach acid, and that's because they're alkalizing their body. They're on proton pump inhibitors. They're on Tums. They're drinking the alkaline water, and they're just making their stomach acid go in the gutter. Well, of course you're going to get parasites if you're...
Child. Parasites is an organism that lives on or in a host of organisms of a different species, obtaining nourishment and shelter at the host's expense. So the host will be the carrier. You will be the host. Okay? The host expense, right? Different types of parasites. Endoparasites that live inside the host's body, intestinal worms, malaria, and then you have ectoparasites that live outside, which is lice, ticks, fleas, okay? Ticks, fleas, and lice, and things of that nature, okay? Dead food contains parasites and bacteria, okay? Job 7:5, my body is clothed with worms and scabs. My skin is broken and festering, okay? Then Isaiah 66:24, and they should go forth and look upon the corpse of the men who have transgressed, for their worms does not die, and in their fire is not quenched. They should be in adherence to all flesh, okay? So it's been this thing with everybody talking about parasites, okay? It's an online trend. I don't follow trends. I don't get into it. I research, a lot of things or whatever the case may be, but a lot of people have been talking about parasites. I watch Paul's Law, and I watch, sometimes I may watch that chick Daquana Osborne, and they talk about the parasites, and they talk about the parasite cleanse and all this other type of stuff. Here's the deal with that, right? You eating dead food. Why y'all complaining about the parasites and you still eating dead food? You claim you cleansing from the parasites, but you go into the store putting the same dead food that has the parasites inside your body. So what's the sense of doing all that? Just following the trend because it's popular? Another thing is this. The worms and stuff like that. You got two kinds of parasites. You have the endoparasites and you have the ectoparasites. The ectoparasites that live outside of the host, ticks, fleas, and lice. So you doing all this, okay, practicing, thinking in your delusional mind that you doing a parasite cleanse. But what about the ectoparasites that live outside the body? Hosts, ticks, fleas, lice, and stuff like that. Y'all sleep around with unclean men and y'all slop saliva and stuff like that. What you think that is? Swapping saliva with unclean men. Okay? What you think that is? Fornicating and sexual perversion. What you think that is? Getting yeast infections and all that, and UTIs and all that. What you think that all that is? But y'all worrying about some food. Y'all shout out there. I tell you, man. I'm about to wrap this thing on up. Listen, man, I don't follow trends. I research everything. Okay? And y'all think, y'all out there, and I'm talking to you and whoever it applies to, okay? Y'all think that these parasites is something. Wait until you reach your final destination when you get the real parasite, because the worms don't die. Okay? That's part of your everlasting judgment, when them worms is going to be picking at you. Okay? And there's no water to quench your thirst. There's nothing to quench. Okay? Y'all think these are parasites that y'all talking about. You ain't witnessed the real parasites. No, y'all not ready for the real parasites. That's why you on borrowed time. That's why you on borrowed time. Okay, but you gonna meet the real parasites. Yeah, you gonna meet the real ones. Not the ones from the dead contaminated food that y'all be eating at the store. Okay, you gonna meet the real parasites. Yeah, that part. And you ain't got nobody to blame but yourself. Because you the root and cause of your own problem. Nobody else. Okay? But that's what it is with these parasites. Okay? That y'all claim that is parasites. I don't be bothered with no parasites. Because I don't swap saliva or spit with unclean men or at all. Okay? And I don't eat dead food. Okay? The tree of life. I pour life into my body. And you heard what he said. He said, you think a parasite is going to be able to survive? They only survive in dead people. Okay? People who feed themselves dead food. Okay? That's what it is with that. The more you continue feeding yourself dead food from the store that has nothing living in it, the more you keep feeding the parasites. And yes, they're going to dwell in your body. Okay? And again, it doesn't stop with just that. It has something to do with your filthy sins as well. Your sins is a parasite. A lot of y'all are parasites against your own self. Yeah. Anywho, I'm about to get on out of here, man. It's that Spiker Star, the brightest star of the constellation, man. Dr. Reese and parasites. Y'all don't take care of yourselves. Y'all don't love yourself. You don't take care of yourself. You don't do anything. You don't do anything great for yourselves in reference to your health. You don't. You trooping up down to the store thinking that's going to save you. Ain't nothing in that store. Ain't nothing in it. You're just getting them rich, being a slave to all nations of people, and you're dying and not getting nourished, okay? And again, wait until you meet the real parasites, because you're going to meet the real parasites. You think these parasites from this dead food? Nah, you're going to meet the real parasites, okay? And that stuff don't go away. And that stuff going to be day and night, okay? Nothing to quench it or nothing, okay? That's what it is with that. But anywho, I'm about to get on out of here, man. It's that Spiker Star, the brightest star of the constellation. It's going to be a new heaven and a new earth. Isaiah 65:17. The sovereign Lord going to bring down his kingdom upon a new earth. Me, the maidens and the virgins. I should dwell there forevermore. You should do everything in your willpower to break your generational curse, so you don't have to deal with these parasites, because there's some more parasites that awaits you at your destination. Okay? You should break your generational curse. And even if you don't believe in what I'm saying, I don't care. That ain't my problem. That's your problem. I'm here to do a job and stand on business, okay? Because I don't want no parasites, okay? And I'm not dealing with nothing, okay? I'm not repeating the same cycle. So, yeah, I have to tell it to you, whether you want to hear it or not, because you can't sit up here and say that nobody fed you food, okay, when you was hungry, when somebody gave it to you and you rejected it and you threw it away, okay? So you're going to be held 100% accountable. Another thing is this. He cut the heads of Leviathan and he served it as food. So it's going to be a feast and a regathering, okay? Leviathan been in the sea for over 400 to 1,000 years. I can imagine what he tastes like, juicy and succulent. You should do everything in your willpower to break your generational curse. And hopefully, just hopefully, I'll see you at the feast, okay? He has fins and scales, and he's going to be served at the round table, okay, with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Hopefully, I'll see you there. Hopefully, all I can do is hope for you, okay? Yeah. Another thing is this, Exodus 20:5. He punishes the children for the sins of the parents to the third and fourth generation of those who hate him. If I were you, I would save your generations of children. They do not ask to be here. They have beautiful souls that is attached to them, and they is worth saving. Every soul is worth saving. You should do everything in your willpower to save and secure your generations of children's souls. They are counting on you. Everything falls on you. If they don't make it, that is your fault. And you got to deal with those parasites, okay? And not only that, but them parasites is going to be attacking your children as well. So you should do everything in your willpower to protect your children, your generations of children from them parasites that awaits them and you. Anywho, I'm out here, man, looking into your world, seeing things that you just don't see. I'm out.